On the highlights today, Rivers State Deputy Governor Professor Odo maintains women remain central to sustainable development across Niger Delta. President Tinubu directs immediate release of funds for space assets maintenance. Plus, Inspector General of Police DSU inaugurates State Police Implementation Committee. Good afternoon. Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take it to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Rstv PH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. My name is Abel Inga, and you're welcome to the news afternoon today on Rstv. Rivers State Deputy Governor Professor Ngozi Odo has emphasized that women remain central to sustainable development, peace building, economic growth, and environmental stewardship in communities across the Niger Delta. Professor Odo made this known while speaking at the Niger Delta Women Conference held in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State, organized by Pan Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF. She described the conference themed Empowering Niger Delta Women for Enhanced Political Inclusion, Peace, and Development as a timely and commendable initiative, noting that it provides a strategic platform for dialogue, empowerment, and capacity building for women across the region. The Deputy Governor expressed appreciation to the organizers and High Commission for supporting the initiative and urged participants to harness the collective strength, resilience, and creativity of Niger Delta women to foster unity, development, and lasting progress. In her remarks, former First Lady of Nigeria, Patience Jonathan, who was the special guest of honor, called on Nigerian women to unite beyond political differences and actively advocate for their rights and inclusion in leadership. Staff of Rivers State Television have been charged to redouble their efforts and join hands to reposition the station for greater productivity. Acting General Manager, Rivers State Television, Ambassador Paul Dambo, gave the charge while addressing the workers during the monthly prayer and fasting meeting for the month of March. Namdi Olumide reports that the monthly event also provided opportunity for the AGM to give account of his stewardship. His report.
As Dambo said, since the commencement of the monthly prayer meeting, the station has seen a new dawn and changes in both infrastructure and the welfare of workers. He said the essence of the exercise is to seek God's divine intervention and urge the workers not to sit down and complain, but continue to pray until the result is achieved. According to him, the prayer meeting also provides opportunity to pray for Governor Siminalayi Fubara to succeed and continue to embrace peace for the interest of the state. The acting general manager equally commended the permanent secretary, Minister of Information and Communications, Dr. Omar Sirawo, for his efforts and contributions to the sustenance of the station.
Every first Monday, we will gather by this time for about 1 hour seeking the face of God. Things must change. Amen. The essence is to bring, says, except the Lord buildeth, the laborer labor but what? Vain. So God is our builder. It's not time to complain anymore. It's time to call on the Lord our God. We know the name of the Lord, and He is able to deliver us and bring us to the promised land.
Delivering a message on the topic, what is left is enough, a guest minister, Reverend Chibueze Amadi, who commended the acting general manager for dedicating the station to God, said anything handed over to God does not depreciate. He prophesied that in the next 3 months, Rstv will receive the necessary attention that will make it regain its rightful position in the media industry and enjoin the workers to remain peaceful and united to achieve set goals.
Whatever you hand over to God does not depreciate. Whether it is your life, whether it is your house, whether it's your car, whether it's your business, whether it's anything at all that you put in God's hand does not depreciate.
Some staff of Rivers State Television commended the acting general manager, Ambassador Paul Dambo, and the management for efforts made so far to reposition the station and assured of their unalloyed support.
So any leader that started with prayer, with fasting, gathering his people, looking for the way forward, God should direct their step, will be a good leader. And that is what is happening to our GN, Paul Dambo. When he came, he started with God. And we are seeing how things are moving well with his management staff and all the staffs of Rstv.
Love also has come into Rstv. The management backing him up to, they are doing great. And the staffs, everybody is happy with the administration of Paul Dambo.
Praise and worship, intercessory prayers for the station, Rivers State and Nigeria, as well as Jericho march to the gate of the complex added color to the program. Nnamdi Olimini, Rstv News.
Students of Tourmaline Academy located on Airplane Drive, Femia Abloma, Port Harcourt, into the operations of broadcast media. The VTIT formed part of the school's practical learning program designed to expose students to real-world career opportunities in media and communication. Emmanuel Emiliano now reports.
During the tour, the students were warmly received by staff of Rstv, Mrs. Mbamalo Ono, who guided them through key departments such as the newsroom, control room, editing suites, live studio, and engineering division. The students observed the processes involving in gathering, scripting, editing, and transmitting news stories to thousands of viewers across Rivers State and beyond. A major highlight of the excursion was a live studio demonstration where students had the opportunity to sit behind the news desk and experience what it feels like to be television presenter. Media professionals at Rstv also engaged the students in an interactive section emphasizing the importance of accuracy, teamwork, and technology in modern broadcasting. Teachers who are enlightening, noting that it broadened the learners' understanding of the media's role in shaping public opinion and influencing society. They reaffirmed Tourmaline Academy's commitment to nurturing future leaders, highlighting the school's secure and conducive learning environment. The school also offers extracurricular activities and specialized classes including French, coding and robotics, music, Bible club, among others. The teachers commended Rivers State Television for its quality programming, particularly in promoting government policies, education, agriculture, and grassroots news coverage.
The excursion is an extracurricular activity which is done termly apart from the normal activities being done in school. We had an interactive section on how the news is being broadcast and how it's being sourced around the state. I would say other schools should engage in excursions like this because it's educative.
As a school management, we decided to come to Rivers State Television to enable our pupils to understand how news are being transmitted and what a TV station looks like. They are satisfied because most of them, I don't think they've been to a television station before.
The tour, some of the students expressed delight over the experience, noting that the visit has inspired them to remain focused on their studies and to consider careers in journalism, broadcasting, and digital media.
They took me to the engineering department and I saw the maths. I'm very happy for my school and my parents for bringing me here.
I went to the main studio where newscasters read the news.
To the newsroom and saw where reporters write the news.
I went to the studio and I saw where newscasters read the news. I'm very, very happy coming to Rstv. It's my pleasure.
The excursion provided valuable hands-on exposure and ignited fresh enthusiasm among the students, giving them a clearer understanding of the dynamic world of television broadcasting. Emmanuel Emiliano, Rstv News.
Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. Still to come on the news, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez rebuffs President Trump's threat, maintains no to war. These and more will come when we return from the break. Stay with us.
View us on YouTube, Rstv Online, Facebook, and GoTV at channel 142.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Thanks for joining us on the second segment of the news. President Bola Tinubu has directed the immediate release of approved funds for the maintenance of Nigeria's space assets in line with the National Space Policy and Program. He reiterated his administration's commitment to the realization of Nigeria's space policy and program as outlined in the revised 25-year roadmap for space development. The president, who was represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, gave the approval during the first meeting of the National Space Council held at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. President Tinubu assured that his administration, through the Renewed Hope agenda, is committed to developing the society by engaging relevant human resources for the socio-economic improvement of the nation. He noted that his administration's investment in the sector are prompted by the opportunities in outer space as a new frontier for human development as a stimulus for increased technological advancement and economic diversification, urging the Space Agency to be alive to its mandate of ensuring that space assets and resources over Nigeria are used responsibly. President Tinubu directed the agency to employ all legally available means to enforce the space regulation and spectrum management framework for a secure utilization of space assets and resources over Nigeria on behalf of the National Space Council as provided in the Nigeria Act 2010. The Federal Ministry of Works has reaffirmed its commitment to completing the Abuja-Kaduna Highway by the end of April, following the termination of the previous contract handled by Julius Berger Nigeria PLC and its re-award to Enforce Nigeria Limited. The Controller of Works, Federal Ministry of Works, Engineer Chukwu Makalo, said the decision to re-award the contract was necessary to fast-track the delivery of the strategic road described as the heartbeat of the nation. He explained that the road was redesigned from asphalt pavement to rigid pavement, specifically continued reinforced concrete pavement CRCP to ensure durability and longevity. According to him, the road serves as a vital artery linking the north central and northwest regions to Abuja and connecting Lagos to northern parts of the country, noting that infrastructure development remains a priority under President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. Providing an update, Carlos said the recompletion of the outstanding sections was awarded in 2 lots under Section 1 and includes a 40.5 kilometer dual CRCP stretch totaling 81 kilometers, a 17.3 kilometer asphalt section linking the Kano Zaria Road, and a 6.63 kilometer dual asphalt wearing cost overpay in Kano State. The Inspector General of Police, Tunji Diso, has inaugurated a high-ranking 8-member committee to oversee the implementation of the state police and the unveiling of the policing vision after his confirmation. Diso held his first formal engagement with senior officers following his confirmation as the 23rd Indigenous Inspector General of Police. The meeting comes days after the Nigerian Police Council unanimously ratified his appointment, clearing the way for his swearing in by President Bola Tinubu. Addressing the top hierarchy of the Nigerian Police Force, IGP Diso declared that leadership is not about position but responsibility, and stressed that professionalism and accountability must no longer be measuralism and accountability must no longer be measured as mere slogans, but guiding principles that shape conduct and operations across commands nationwide. The new police boss underscored that authority is strongest when exercised with restraint, insisting that respect for human rights remains fundamental and that every Nigerian must be treated with dignity, fairness and justice regardless of status or background. Poland has expressed readiness to deepen diplomatic and economic relations with Nigeria as part of renewed efforts to strengthen cooperation between both countries. The ambassador of Poland to Nigeria, Michael Sigan, stated this as an ambassadorial forum titled Diplomatic and Economic Relations between Nigeria and Poland, held at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs near Lagos. Addressing diplomats, academics, policy experts and members of the media, Sagan described the bilateral relations established in 1962 as historically friendly but not sufficiently intensive. He said Poland remained proud of its legacy in backing decolonization efforts across Africa, describing it as a positive chapter in its foreign policy history. Reflecting on Poland's transition after 1989 from a centrally planned socialist system to a democratic market-driven economy, Sagan said the reform process was turbulent but transformative. Highlighting educational ties, he disclosed that more than 4,000 Nigerian students are currently studying in Poland, describing the development as a key driver of stronger people-to-people relations. And now on the foreign scene, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has delivered a strong rebuttal to U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to end trade with Spain by restating his position to war and what he called the breakdown of international law. In a 10-minute televised address, Sanchez reflected on the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, as well as the Iraq War more than 20 years ago, and said the Spanish government's position was no to war. U.S. President Trump had threatened to impose a full trade embargo on Spain in response to Madrid's refusal to allow the U.S. use the jointly run bases of Moron and Rotafo for strikes on Iran. President Trump said during a meeting with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz that Spain has been terrible. Real estate is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. You can watch our news live on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram at Rstv PH. You can also subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates.